Time to look ahead to match number 8 in IPL 2021. Chennai against Punjab is where our attention lies on ESPNcricinfo T20 Timeout powered by Intel. I'm Ronak Kapoor, and joining me shortly, Dan Vettori and Irfan Pathan. Our first preview point is, Irfan, can DEEPAK HOODA be a long-term option for Punjab at number 4 after how he played against Rajasthan?
Yeah, perfect sets for them, because if he's batting number 4, he's a kind of batsman who's actually can maneuver the ball in the middle overs. He's been really good at it as well. And when he try to ask him to play big shots, he can do that as well. He's improved his game all around the area as well. If he can play on the covers, he can play on the leg sides. So he's become a better player in terms of playing both sides of the pitch. And when you have that kind of player, you can play him at number 4. Plus, it will give a good base to Nicholas Puran as well as Shahrukh, who can just come in and play those shots.
Now that's the other conversation, isn't it, Dan? Would you want to have Puran batting at 4 with more balls? It's hard to remove HOODA after that 64 of 28 against Rajasthan. Are you happy with HOODA at 4 and Puran at 5?
Well, I wonder if they just went for the prototypical left and right-hander, and HOODA was the right option at that time. But I like what Irfan said around the development of his game. And I think if we talked about HOODA a year ago, we'd think about the step across the stump and try to take on the leg side most of the time. But if he has the ability to play 360 degrees like he proved, and on a wicket like Wankhede, where the pace on it he seems to enjoy, then I think there's no reason why he can't bat 4 more regularly. But I think it will be a case of who's batting at the other end when Kings 11 Punjab Kings make their decision on who's going to go in at 4 or 5.
Yep. All right. Fair enough. Now they're up against the Chennai Super Kings, who saw their 188 gun down easily against Delhi. So our next point, Irfan, is that Chennai need to go hard in the power play.
Especially with the kind of pitches they're going to play in. They're not going to be playing in Chennai. So, they enjoy playing in Chennai, where the pitches is slow, turning, where Mahendra Singh Dhoni can run the spinners from both the ends. Even the part-timers can be very dangerous. But so if they're playing in the hard pitches, they need to make sure they have a strong bowling lineup, that they would be waiting for Ngiri to just get on the park as soon as possible. Till then, they need to make sure that whatever they have, they need to make the best use of it. So yes, so in batting, they need to go really, really hard, especially in the power play. And they have a batting lineup, so they're batting really, really long. They need to make sure that use of Sam Curran as a floater will be very, very important in their campaign.
Yeah, that's interesting. They have a deep batting lineup, but do they have the personnel to really go hard? They lost Faf du Plessis and Ruturaj early in the last game, Dan, and Sam Curran came in pretty late. Would you suggest some changes?
Not changes. I think you look at the style of their top order batsmen, and they all do tend to like to take balls, and that's why I think Moeen Ali can be a real key. Even though he didn't do it in the last power play, I think he's the sort of guy that whatever role he's given, he can be incredibly aggressive. And Faf likes to get himself in. Rayner, I think, in the later stage of his career, wants a few more balls, and Ryder's probably the same. So to give someone like Moeen Ali the license to be aggressive, whether he opens or bats 3, I think that could be a real difference maker for Chennai. And then that allows all their all-rounders at the back end of the innings how they can utilise them, because you can never really get a read on what batting order CSK will play. It depends how Dhoni and Stephen Fleming feel on the day, and they'll match it up to conditions. But I think Moeen Ali in that top 3 in a power play is a guy who will be aggressive because it's his natural game.
Now, what about Punjab? Baptism by fire for the likes of Meredith and Richardson on IPL debut, Dan, but we're saying that Punjab should invest in the 2 of them for at least a few games, in spite of going for runs in the last one.
You're not happy for 2 for 100 off 8 overs, Ronak? You expect more on debut. I picked them both to be a factor for Kings before the tournament. I thought that their pace would be a difference maker, and I would still back it. I think I saw Meredith and Richardson bowl a lot in the New Zealand-Australian series, and they were actually exceptional. So I think one game shouldn't influence too much. I'd like to see them given an extended go. And I know Wankhede has that pace, and people get excited with it, but I think those guys need a few games.
They have the experienced option of Chris Jordan. They have Moses Henriques, who has experience of playing in the IPL. Now, would you back Meredith and Jai Richardson?
They have to, right? They have put the big bucks in the auction. They cannot not play them because if they went so hard for both of them. So they need to, I totally agree with Daniel Vittori, what he said, that they need to give them at least 3 to 4 matches altogether. And otherwise, they'll be thinking what you did in the auction. That wasn't a right technique, and that wasn't a right plan. So I'll definitely like to see them play. But I prefer Jordan ahead of Madrid for sure. But now they have gone with that. They need to just continue with that.
All right, fair enough. Now, we already touched upon Moeen Ali. Dan mentioned a little while back. Is he the guy to continue batting at 3, Dan, for you?
Definitely. I think Moeen Ali is actually an underrated player, and I know that Chennai paid a lot for him at the auction, but I think his batting ability to bat anywhere really, but I think the top 3 is his specialist position, and a position that he's done really well for Worcester, England at times, and I think he likes the thought that he is in control of the game, and I think that's where you see him at his best, and that's what we saw in the first game of the tournament for him, and I think he can continue that.
Irfan, Moeen at 3, happy with that?
Yeah, I'm really happy with the way things are going for Chennai as far as the batting is concerned. Especially credit to Suresh Raina as well, because Suresh Raina is predominantly he always likes to bat at number 3, but now he adjusted at number 4 very, very nicely. So that gives them flexibility. So Moeen coming at number 3, playing freely, and then Raina, even though he's playing at number 4, still playing the way he plays. So fantastic for them.
Okay, and lastly, they have a lot of batting, but they didn't have the option of a wrist spinner in that 11. So Irfan, can they make room for either Imran Tahir or Karan Sharma at the expense of one batsman?
They can afford to do that because they have so many all-rounders, right? If they're batting till Chahar, which is number 10, 11 batsman, why not just try, and especially on those pitches in Wankhede, get extra bowler, get extra bowling option who can be a wicket taker. And Imran Tahir, look, he's been benching for CSK for a very long time after being highest wicket taker for them and for the tournament.
That'll have to come at the expense of either a Dwayne Bravo or a Faf du Plessis, Dan, or they could go Karan Sharma and get rid of one Indian batsman. Would you be tempted by the principle though of just playing a leg spinner or a wrist spinner?
I think Imran Tahir, it's hard to leave him out of any T20 side, even at his age. I mean, mainly because I'm jealous of him still playing at these days. But I think his wicket-taking ability, coupled with his economy rate, is exceptional. And I think there's probably something that Chennai look close at, but they also probably know better than we do what his form and fitness at the moment. So maybe they're holding him back, realising that 14 games may be a big ask. And once again, they may be looking at the right conditions. Chennai always look at those things around what's the right balance at the time, and Dhoni backs his gut on it. And surprisingly, it's not backing Tahir at the moment, but I wouldn't be surprised either if it can change very quickly.
Dhoni doesn't change too much. Let's see if he changes after one game. Thank you very much, Irfan Pathan and Daniel Vettori. This was us looking ahead to the game between Chennai and Punjab on ESPNcricinfo T20 Timeout, powered by Intel.